AngloGold Ashanti posted third quarter numbers this morning. The gold miner has posted a very small profit. Joining us on the line to unpack the numbers, to give us some more insights, is Peter Major, mining analyst at Cadiz. Peter, the thing that jumped out at me was not any of the numbers, but the point that their headline, the first headline on SENS by the company is, "We've beaten our third quarter guidance." Now, guidance, I guess, is in the eye of the beholder, because if you're a good manager, you want the market to think you're going to come in lower than the numbers that you're going to be producing. So to start talking about guidance as a headline is a little strange to me.
Alec, you should be managing money out there instead of half the fund managers. And you should probably be writing analytic reports instead of half the mining analysts. I agree with you 100%. By getting people so focused on these tiny quarterly by quarterly moves, that's how they get sucked in and they make the wrong big decisions. And instead of saying, gee, I'm going to buy AngloGold because they beat an estimate that management was leading me to believe they were going to get 3 months ago, that shouldn't have any bearing on whether you buy or sell the share. You should be saying, how has this share performed for the last year, the last 5 years, the last 10 years, especially relative to a gold bullion or ETF, and don't even compare them to their bloody competitors, because if you can beat them buying a gold ETF or the all-share index, maybe that's end of analysis right there if you're a fund manager.
Yeah, most definitely. I guess for me the big issue in the past quarter, and I'd love to get your insights into it, is that rights issue that was proposed and then pulled.
Yeah, to me, that is the second biggest issue with this company. The first biggest issue is, why are you buying any gold share if the gold price has peaked, after an amazing 10, 11-year run, and now it looks like it's going to go down for the next 3, 4, 5 years? Why are you buying any gold share? But the next point, if you're going to buy a gold share, you're going to buy AngloGold, you have to have good reasons for buying it. You have to believe it's going to outperform its peers and the gold price. And poor Venkat, who I think has done a really, really good job in a very difficult company, with all the debt and the wide dispersion of operations and all the problems running a gold mine in South Africa. I think he's done a great job of cutting costs, rationalizing. I think he put together a good plan for unbundling South Africa from the international, cleaning up the debt. And then he gets shot down by one of the big shareholders who just made the wrong bet on the gold price a few years ago. And the result is, because of the state that AngloGold is in with all this debt, that the gold price has beat it by a factor of 13 in the last 5 years. Now, 13 means 1,300%. So that's how dire a situation this gold company is in, and Venkat's trying to clean it up, and the shareholders have stopped it.
Just on that, on the topic of management, clearly it's evident that you're not a gold bull, but you are confident in the measures that management has taken. Is a lot of this completely dependent on the market then?
Yeah, well, what is the market? You mean the gold? You mean the gold bullion price market,
That's
Gugu,
correct,
or
Peter.
you mean the stock? Yeah, almost everything's dependent on it, because even the rand can't counter it if the gold price is going to fall down another 10, 20%. Even the weak rand's not going to help that, because 2/3 of their operations are now out of the country, and they're totally dependent on the dollar. So yes, this share is so dependent on the market. Because it's got $3.8 billion debt, it's probably more so dependent than most of its peers.
So it's a debt issue here. It's also a management issue, and the one that you raised a bit of a flag about, the 13 times outperformance by the gold price. How then did Mark Curifani, who ran this company, get promoted to run Anglo American?
I'm even asking myself that, Alec, because I was one of Mark's champions. I think Mark did a fairly good job. I think he took over a company even in worse shape than the one that Venkat's got. Because when Mark took it over, not only did they have a lot of debt, but they had gold, forward gold sales from hell. They had a hedging program from hell. So Mark was able to borrow money and have rights issues and get rid of their gold hedges. So yes, there's this giant debt millstone around Venkat's neck, around AngloGold's neck. So Mark managed to get rid of one of the big millstones. I think he cleaned up the company a little bit more, got it a little more focused. But you're right. He left with only half done. He didn't do it fast enough and quick enough. And poor Venkat inherited the position after the gold cycle turned down. So you're right. Mark did have 4 pretty good years. He should have done more, unfortunately.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if he gets that opportunity at Anglo American over the weekend in London. The London Sunday Times speculating that Mick Davis, ex-financial director of Eskom and now running, well, his own new fund, remember he also had Xstrata, is trying to buy Anglo American.